Hi everybody, this is Tina with Loving Life's Little Blessings, and today is my Thursday post, and I usually do a sort of kind of to-do list craft, something that is on my list of things that I need to do. And there's a lot that I'm doing and getting ready for a convention that's coming up next month. So I started my swap cards. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw a couple photos that I shared because I was working on swap cards. And then I'm also trying to get cards made up for customer thank yous and for downlines. So I'm kind of deep in the middle of card making and mass producing cards. So one of the things that I like to do when I have to mass produce some cards, this is a smaller scale of mass producing, I'm going to do 8 of these cards, is I really like to do it in the batch process method, which means you cut all of your items together. So I've cut all my card bases right here. I've cut all my layers. I've stamped and cut out all my items, and then I put things together. So that saves a little bit of time. So today I'm using the Oh My Goodies, which this is an older stamp set. It came out last year. I haven't used it in a while, and I thought it would be really easy for mass producing. That's the other thing you want to keep in mind is you don't want to be doing cards that have a ton of layering or a ton of cutting, because that's going to be really time consuming. So this is a great one. I just did 2 layers, and I used my framelits to coordinate. And then I also used this paper stack. It is the 6x6 Pretty Petals paper stack. This is what I have left. I didn't know that I was gonna love this stack as much as I do. I really thought I would love the cherry on top more than I loved this. But it turns out that I really love this one. I just ordered another one. This is all I have left from my first order, and I really want to do something with this paper next. So I'm going to make a card to share with you guys on Monday, and it'll probably be this design or maybe this one. So let's get started, and I'll show you what I put together. I'm also going to show you the mistake I made in cutting some of this. So we're going to make 2 cards today. It's going to be really easy since everything's already cut and stamped. So I just have some Whisper White cardstock, and I have that cut at 5.5. So it was an entire sheet of Whisper White, and I cut it in half at 5.5, and that gave me card bases. Stampin' Up! Is now offering white cardstock that is at 100 pounds, and it's thicker than the Whisper White, and it's made, you know, we're offering it specifically for card bases. I know a lot of people have given feedback that our Whisper White is really flimsy for card bases. I don't mind it. So I'm not using the thicker cardstock. I'm just using my Whisper White, but that is available now. And then I wanted to share with you guys, see how the edge of my paper is like that? It's because my trimmer, I've been cutting a lot of cardstock. So all I'm doing is just taking a sanding block. You can take a nail file, and I'm just filing the edges of that just to smooth it out. I really try to use my blades as much as I possibly can. And so because of that, sometimes I get those edges, and that's my fix for it. So we have 2 card bases here. I have this design. I'm going to show you how I messed up, and I'll show you how I'm going to just roll with it. So I have this design right here, and then I have the polka dot. So originally, the original idea was to cut it at 5.5 by 4.25 and have it just be the entire card base, right? And then I would have my layer that would look like this. What happened is I accidentally cut some that were a little bit shorter. I just was in the cutting mode, and I think I probably cut it at 5 instead of 5, or 5.25 instead of 5.5. So what I'm going to do to just fix that is I'm just going to do that. So you can see that. So this we'll put together, but then let me show you my other 2 layers, because this is a really simple card. So this is mint macaroon, and then I stamped the Live Well, Laugh Hard, Love Big. And I stamped that on very vanilla because this cardstock, the accent is very vanilla, not Whisper White. So Whisper White looked a little bit funny. And in fact, I probably should do the base for this one in Very Vanilla because you can see the difference. Well, maybe you'll be able to see when we layer everything up. But I'm not going to because I already cut all my bases. And I just was like, well, you know, it's not going to be perfect, but that's going to be okay. Okay, so we have these layered. So see, that's super simple to layer these and they look beautiful. So now let's layer all this. It's going to be real flat. Okay, just like that. So the very last thing that I want to do is take some of these brand new buttons. And these are, again, they're Very Vanilla. That's why I went ahead and stamped on Very Vanilla. And we can put these, I don't think I left enough space on this. Oh, I did. Well, not really. Oh, it'll have to be on this side. I'm going to take some linen thread. I wish that we had baker's twine that was all one color. Our baker's twine is white and then it has whatever color that the color of baker twine it is running through it. And so I couldn't really use baker's twine on this because it's white, right? So it didn't look right. So I have my linen thread on both of my buttons, and the way I like to attach buttons are just with glue dots. I think that's what works best. And I usually put, on this size button, I'll go ahead and do 3, and I just space them out and I put them over the linen thread through the back. That way the baker's twine, oftentimes I use baker's twine in buttons. So I just put those glue dots right over the back of the button where that is going through the loops. That way it holds that linen thread or baker's twine down to the card better, and that way it doesn't get snagged going through the mail. This card has quite a bit of dimension because we put both of the layered items on dimensionals, and then this button is pretty thick. So those are the cards. This was the first one that I designed, and I do like the button better over here. And I'm going to make about 8 of these, and these are going out to my downline this month, along with one of these beautiful bags. I'm going to put some goodies in here. And then I've been using these bags like crazy, you guys. I really love them. They're beautiful. They're fun to use. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck this in an envelope with a note to some of my team members. And then I'll have a goodie in there and I'll tuck it all together. And that's what they'll get from me. Remember that this month, Stampin' Up! Is offering 2 free stamp sets when you join Stampin' Up!, which just means you join with me. You get the starter kit, which is $100. You spend $99, you get $125 in product that you pick. So that's really wonderful that Stampin' Up! Doesn't just send you a bunch of product you may not want or you may not like. You get to pick it. So you get $125 in product. It ships to you for free, and then you get 2 additional free stamp sets. So that is amazing. So if you would like to see a supply list, photos of my project, and details about joining me, you can just click right up here, and that takes you right to my coordinating blog post, and all the information is laid out there for you. And if you need to ask any questions, you can always do that, and I get back to you guys. I'll be back tomorrow with Memory Keeping Friday. I'm going to be starting a special series this next month on Memory Keeping Friday, and then I'll be back next week, of course, with more fun projects for you guys to close up our Stampin' Up! Year. This is the very last month of our Stampin' Up! Year, which is always an exciting time. So thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will talk to you tomorrow.
make it about a place.